Hiya, and welcome to another episode of the Liverpool Connection podcast. Our pub chat, and finally got us back in the pub again. I'm feeling a lot better. So yeah, in the pub, got my cup of tea. He's got his bevy, he's got his water. But we're here to discuss partly the Napoli match. So don't really want to do this too much, but we have to. We're loyal.
Well, you have to be honest, right?
No, we do, so. And a lot of criticism for this team. As always, Glenn, we'll start with the starting lineup.
Yeah, there's not really many things you could have done differently. I actually thought Gomez was going to start right back, and Matip was going to play centre half, and Trent wouldn't play. I thought we'd be a little bit more solid. I can't say I was massively surprised that Firmino played. I probably would have done the same. And in midfield, it's a case of there's no other options really. So starting lineup can't really. When you messaged me the team, and I was like, I was a bit surprised, and then I started thinking about it, and I was like, well, really? I mean, other than Trent, I couldn't see any other change at all that you could that would have been different. What about yourself, Wilson?
Well, I mean, he could have brought in Tsimikas for Robbo. I think a lot of people were expecting that when the games are coming thick and fast, that you're going to rotate some of those guys. And like you said, that would have been an easy switch to have Gomez play right back in this match. A lot of the criticism, obviously, is going to be on Milner playing through the middle. And
what could he have done different?
No, there's not that much. I mean, you have Thiago that's coming off an injury. Arthur, who's practiced
barely played
1 week and barely even practiced before we signed him. Yeah. Fabinho, he obviously had to start. So, I mean, there weren't a lot of options. I mean, they could have resorted to like they did last year and brought in Morton, or not. Well, how they brought in Morton last season. During the group stages, so maybe giving Bagsetic an opportunity. But I think against Napoli, that was probably been too much of a task for him. But like you said, there weren't very many options yesterday for the starting lineup.
No. Yourself? Same, right?
Same. I mean, on another day, having Thiago and Arta fit and ready.
Even one of them.
Yeah, at least one of them. They go straight in. But I've heard from people we should have started Thiago. He's got 30 minutes in him. I'm like, exactly. He's got 30 minutes. That's why he's on the bench. But there was no other way to do that midfield.
But regardless of fitness, the way we started that game, obviously, ended up losing 4-1. But to give up, they could have been up 3-0 in the first 5 minutes. To start the game like that, we're going back to a problem that everybody seems to be prevalent in the last 8 games, where we're just starting very slow, and I don't know what the solution to that is.
No intensity. That's the thing.
I was surprised. I don't want to get too ahead here, but I was surprised when we went 1-0 down. Obviously, the stuff that leads up to the penalty. You can maybe say Milner's a little bit unlucky, maybe not. I don't know. But after they go 1-0 up, our game management is absolutely awful. So they go 1-0 up, and I say I might be getting a bit ahead of yourself. And then Van Dijk clears one off the line. Then they miss a penalty, so they could have been 3-0 up, and they had other stuff before that. Why are we? And
don't forget they hit the post in the first minute of the game.
But I know, I'm trying to go past it a little bit, probably a bit too quick here. But why are we not just sitting in and just saying, right, just weather this storm for 10 minutes? Why? So I'm looking at Trent and some of the positions he's picking up, and this can't be just Trent that's picking up. At times he's like a right forward, or he's playing like a number 10. His position when we've got the ball, he's so far up. That can't just be him just randomly going over there. Why are we not just sitting in and saying, right, let's just play 4-5-1, let's drop back let's drop back 10, 15 yards, sit in, be tight, play a few more longer balls over the top, and just get to half time. How does that game go from that stage there where we were nearly 3-0 down, and then our game management is atrocious. It's so poor.
Well, you would have thought. I mean, obviously, our Klopp's watching it, and within the first 15 minutes, and I don't want to be this like, I'm watching it on the telly, and I'm going, you need to do this, you need to do this. But if I can see it, Klopp can see it. So why isn't Klopp like barking orders at Robbo, and then fucking Robbo get with Milner and go like change. This needs to change, and nothing was done. And I think that was the most frustrating thing. Yeah. It was 45 minutes of dog shit.
It's difficult. It's difficult both ways, because I see loads of individual players getting absolutely dogged abuse, and rightfully so in some ways. Klopp's not on the pitch and doing this. Joe Gomez has done basically the same thing 3 times. Mm-hmm. He's dwelled on the ball 3 times, and he's had the ball nicked off him. Yeah. And you're like, just put it out for, like, the first time it happens to him, all right, the next time the ball comes to you, just clear it out for a throw-in. Let's get our shape back again.
It was amazing to that, because, if you go back to the first penalty, that was the original cause was Trent losing it.
Can't even remember now. It was that long.
Trent lost it in midfield, again, playing so far up the pitch, and as soon as Napoli wins the ball, it's the long ball in the channels that Trent vacated. But for some reason, Gomez, who has been pretty stellar the last 4 games, I don't know what he was doing yesterday. I mean, I don't know if he thought he was Maldini back there, thought he could just dribble out of the back, but he wasn't strong.
Just kick it out.
He was taking too many touches when he just needed to be practical about things. And it was weird, because he's not normally like that. I don't know what happened with him yesterday, but it wasn't his best game for sure. No, I mean, this whole team in the last week, last week I looked as young as you, but now I look as old as Gaza now. Look at my beard. It's totally white.
Young as me. This is this hair is from the last 4 years plus Manchester. Well, Manchester City have done this to me, but I think I'm trying to think about all the goals now. But
I'm not.
No, of course not. But the second goal, the second penalty. Van Dijk is so clumsy for that, isn't he?
Well, it looks exactly like when we played Fulham. Yeah. The same when diagonal right across like the 6-yard box, and it's fucking too slow.
But if you're playing against Van Dijk and you're playing 1 against 1 against Van Dijk, like Van Dijk over the last couple of years, not obviously he's been the best defender, but 1-on-1. People haven't even attempted to even dribble past them sometimes, 1v1. Yeah. Sometimes they'll hold the ball and they'll wait for other players. People now fancy themselves against Van Dijk. It's like, I don't know whether he's just, it's like a sort of I feel shitty saying this, but maybe it's a bit of an arrogance, like go for it, or he's lost that half a step. I don't know, but that defending there was so clumsy. It really was. I didn't think it was a pen at first, and then watched it back, and it was a pen. Thankfully, Alisson saved us, but...
Well, usually we can talk about, like, in games where, like defence was shite, right? But it was everyone. Diaz. Diaz, I thought, fucking at least showed heart and went and every ball, but it was the back 4, it was the fucking midfield, it was the front 3 not doing their jobs.
Yeah. Well, the thing is,
it's chased down Napoli.
Yeah. The thing is Napoli weren't cutting us open and making 4, 5, 6 passes and just moving us over. It was literally, there's no pressure from the front. It might be a couple little conditions and just a ball in behind. Like, if you're not going to have that pressure from the forward players and the midfielders, just drop back. The whole team just drop back 15 yards, 20 yards. There's no harm in doing that. There's no harm in saying, right, our midfield is, like, we've probably got our, with Harvey and Milner, you've probably got maybe 5th, 6th choice midfielders in there, and you've got forwards that are not confident. It's okay just to sit back and play a little bit differently, be a little bit more street smart. Do you know what I mean? You're playing Napoli away. It's like, I honestly, at the start of that game yesterday, I 100% would have took a point. Of course, a draw yesterday in that game.
I mean, there's a reason why they're top of the league in Serie A, right?
Yeah.
And they're undefeated. And they're a quality team, and no one really would have thought that losing the players that they did over the summer. But they're playing very well. There's a reason, and for us to lack the intensity at the very beginning, and obviously I think right now the mentality of the team, if they go down early, it really affects them. I mean, you can kind of see it.
Yeah, obviously. And that's the problem that Klopp's got to work with, is what's going on. Right. Why is there no intensity? Because they do it in training. So it's not going over to the pitch.
Darren, they look goosed. They look.
I think so.
It's not like this idea that they don't care or that they've got poor attitudes and all that. To me, I think that's bollocks. I think they look goosed.
6 years.
Fabinho looks.
Yeah.
No, do you know what though? It's not even that, right? Because when we done one after the Charity Shield. Let's be honest. After the Charity Shield, I wasn't asked that we won it or not really, but we looked fantastic. Yep. We looked at it in that Charity Shield. That was 7-8 weeks ago. So you can't just say, well, maybe it's 5 or 6 weeks. It's Fabinho looks like a crab.
5-6 years.
Yeah. No, fine. Yeah, that's
constantly.
Fine. But they look.
But do you think that was like false advertising against Man City though?
I mean, it was 7 weeks ago. I mean, it's totally different midfield.
They're a lot stronger, obviously. City.
But we played them 7 weeks ago in the Charity Shield.
Played them off the park for real.
It wasn't even 7 weeks ago, was it? Because it's only the start of September now. So, it was 5 weeks ago. So, it's not like, I don't know.
Well, I mean, like you had mentioned, Fabinho, he's like a half a step behind too, because some of those tackles, or some of the
get in.
Yeah, but he's half a step off, so he's not getting in, and then they're going around him. So when you're pressed up front, you have to have all your 3 forwards pressed, but you also have your midfielders tight. So it doesn't. If they all have to press, so you can't just have one phase not pressing, and it breaks down. So
I think the shape of our team looks way off. To be honest, I think it's too easy for teams to get through our forwards. Our forwards are nowhere near.
Too wide.
Way too wide. Midfielders, and also the positioning of Trent is weird, and the position of Salah is weird. Now, Klopp got asked about it the other day, and he was like, "Well, there's nothing." I mean, I know we got asked about it yesterday, and he said, "Yeah, we're too wide in general defending." But there's times where Salah picks up the ball so wide, and then Trent is picking up the ball so central, or he's in central positions, and I just don't. I can't get my head around it.
Well, you saw a lot of spacing between Milner, Fabinho, Elliott. Usually, when you're playing 3 in the midfielder, they're pretty tight. You have to shift as a team, but there was so much space because then one pass, it was wide open. There was always an open pass because there was no cover.
Yeah.
No cover and support on whoever was pressing the ball, and that was very disappointing to see that. And then once the guy puts his head up, he's attacking that space that's left by the outside backs.
I don't know if Harvey is a great fit in these types of games. These really tough ones away from home where you've got. It's either got to be one or the other. You've either got to be a little bit more solid, or not, because I don't think he sort of offers that. Yeah. But even some of the positions that he was getting in yesterday, there was times where he'd be pulling out really wide right to receive the ball, and if Liverpool lose the ball, then there's just a big massive gap in the middle of the pitch. But that's my thing, is there's a lot of individual players that were really, really poor yesterday, but like for the actual structure of the shape of our team, something drastically needs to change.
Yeah, no matter how much people slate Hendo, he adds some bite to that right side and does cover. He knows how to cover for Trent, and so I don't think we can underestimate what his loss to the team is, because obviously Elliott is more of an advanced type player. He's not a box to box, right? So
I agree, but Henderson has played this season, and he's looked like he's a crap as well.
Well, I told you that. I think he's played hurt just because we didn't have anybody else until he could not play again.
Maybe.
And
loads of negatives, right?
Yeah.
Positives, there are some. Thiago's back. Matip, as soon as he came on, it seemed to calm everybody down.
Yeah.
Well, he won the tackles when he needed to make the tackles, which Gomez was not doing.
Well, and that was Matip takes the ball out.
Yeah.
I think we missed that. Gomez is not very good at that.
No, he doesn't.
That's not his strong suit. No.
Exactly, but Matip was taking the ball to midfield.
Even
and that's what you
Konate,
need.
we miss Konate's
Oh, yeah.
physical presence and speed, and so.
For me, Matip, it might be a bit biased, but I think, obviously, Van Dijk, you would say, would be number one. But Matip might be the second or third best centre-back in the league. He's so you could easily say that Matip was as good as Van Dijk last year.
Yeah.
He's so good. So having him back was a massive thing. I thought, as you say, Thiago was.
Yeah.
He was really bright, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So the tactics out, but we look leggy, and that's what
We've never needed an international break so much, have we?
I hate international breaks. We all do. But we want this one to come quickly.
Yeah.
Well, remember, just real quick. Remember a few weeks ago when I said, "Hey, we're not ready to play a Leeds team that presses." I think it's very evident that we're not in shape to.
We're not playing Leeds,
to
we're playing
run.
Wolves.
No, I know. I'm just saying in that type of game where you're having to run. I mean,
just have to-
yesterday we got outrun again. We never get out. I mean,
No, yeah,
Every
I know,
game,
I know.
every
game.
match
So
far.
I'm just saying we're not ready for that. I don't know why, but
which
anyway.
is unusual for us.
I think just before we go to Wolves, I was going to say about what was your thoughts on Nunes and Jota? I thought both Matt. Like Jota looks like he's so not fit.
Yeah.
And I just hope we're not gonna. I know we want to try and get him in, but I don't know. He looks like he looks like he doesn't.
He looks like a guy that hasn't touched the ball in a competitive match.
He needs
So,
like that international
Right.
break to get fit.
Right.
I think, doesn't he?
And then with
Nunes was poor.
Nunes just needs matches.
He does, yeah. He didn't offer anything.
Nah, but both
didn't
of
offer
them just didn't offer anything. But it just went well with the rest of the team. Nobody again. Diaz. That's the positive. He scored a worldie. I just loved his enthusiasm. But
By the way, can we just say something here? Sorry, Dan.
Of course
I'm
you
trying
can.
to probably get something else in. But the one thing is starting to get on my tits, right? Massively on my tits, and they are very large, as you can tell. This idea that like all the time, every time Liverpool draw a game or they lose a game, this idea that we're so missing Mane, it's doing my head in. I don't understand it.
Me too,
I'm pretty sure Mane scored like 2 goals for Bayern Munich so far. By the way, I don't watch him a lot. He might be doing loads of great things, but I don't think we're on a slump because of Mane. Because we can't run. We don't know how to run it. We've got no legs.
Not from one player.
Do you know what I mean? And the lad that's playing in his position has probably been has been Liverpool's best player this season. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. This always gets brought out all the time. Like, oh, Liverpool miss Mane because they drew a game. Like,
well, it's a narrative.
It's just an easy. It's just an easy.
It's
lazy.
lazy.
It's an easy cop out. Just to say
it's laziness.
We're losing. We're not the same team because one player doesn't make a team.
Before we wrap, thanks to BD Raj for hosting us again today, and
That's nice to be back in the pub.
yeah, it is nice to be back in the pub. It's like I've never left.
He wants very early.
I was here yesterday, so.
But thanks everyone for listening.